What's up, everybody? It's Tuesday, and if you are a hoop head, Saturday night was your Christmas. The San Antonio Spurs have done the unthinkable. They went into OKC for a winner-go-home Game 7 and completely took the crown, eliminating the top-seeded Thunder on their own floor, and Victor Wembanyama is officially headed to his first NBA Finals. I'm super stoked for the Finals. I think it's going to be a great matchup. But while the story is about the Spurs' triumph, we have to talk about the collapse on the other side. Specifically, the deeply disappointing effort that we saw from Chet Holmgren when the lights were at their brightest. We're going to break down his tape, look at what Sam Presti needs to do with OKC's war chest of assets this offseason, and then we're going to pivot immediately to tomorrow night where Game 1 of the NBA Finals tips off, I believe, in San Antonio between the Knicks and the Spurs. You guys know what to do. Hit that subscribe button. Leave a 5-star, leave a review, leave a 3-star, 2-star, 1-star, 4-star. We don't care. We just want to know what we can improve on and what you guys do enjoy about our episodes. Check us out on Spotify or wherever you get your podcast from. Follow us on our new TikTok page, YouTube, Instagram, you name it. But hey, let's do it. Let's get right into the film room. And now we're going to be starting with Saturday night Game 7. Everyone expected a classic. Back and forth, heavyweight fight, but instead San Antonio controlled the structural rhythm of this game from the second quarter onward. SGA fought like an absolute warrior, but basketball is a game of weak links, and Saturday night the Spurs exposed OKC's front court geometry. And with that being said, we have to talk about Chet Holmgren as well. Look, I enjoyed Chet's game. He has a little bit of fire to him, but Saturday night was just flat out disappointing. In a legacy-defining Game 7, Chet looked entirely passive. He was hesitant on his catch-and-shoot looks, his floor spacing was compromised, and defensively, he let Victor Wembanyama completely dictate the terms of engagement in the paint. When you look at the tape, Chet wasn't fighting for interior position. He allowed himself to be pushed off his spots, finished with minimal impact on the glass, and letting San Antonio secure crucial second-chance points. Offensively, when OKC needed a secondary creator to relieve the pressure off Shea, Chet settled for floating on the perimeter instead of rolling hard to the rim or putting pressure on the Spurs' rotation. Marcus Johnson smelled blood in the water. He kept, Wemby heavily on Chet, daring him to make them pay off the bounce, and Chet simply didn't attack. I believe I saw a stat where he only took 2 shots the entire game. 2 shots the entire game. And there was a moment in the fourth quarter where Chet Holmgren had the ball wide open on a 3, which is usually his shot. But instead, he passes it up. Then the next time he got a chance, he got the ball in the corner, past the 3-point line, tried to drive in on Wemby, and then just completely, I don't know if he was second guessing, he just fell. Like, he fell to the ground, lost the ball. He wasn't attacking. He wasn't Chet. And let me say this, after watching that performance in Game 7 by Holmgren, tell me if you agree with me or not. That reminded me a lot of James Harden. Great in the regular season, but when the postseason comes around, where is Chet to be found? When your star young big man disappears in a physical half-court grinding game, your entire system breaks. The Thunder's 5-out blender only works if all 5 guys are an aggressive threat. And last night, Chet looked checked out. So with that being said, with OKC falling short, it's a bitter pill to swallow for a team with championship aspirations. But if you're a Thunder fan, panic is the last thing you should be doing right now. Sam Presti is sitting on the most lucrative asset chest in modern NBA history. They have the flexibility to completely reshape their roster around Shea and Jalen Williams this summer. The blueprint for this offseason is glaringly obvious. They need legitimate physical size and a secondary enforcer in the paint. You cannot roll into another deep postseason run expecting Chet Holmgren to play center by himself against the giants of the league. It wears him down physically and compromises his rim protection instincts. OKC has a massive haul of future first-round draft picks and significant cap space. They don't need to hunt for another flashy guard. They need a high-level physical rebounder and a screen setter. A guy who can absorb the physical punishment down low and clear out space on the glass, which would allow Chet to slide to his natural 4 position where he can roam as a helper. If Presti pulls the trigger on a major trade using those draft assets for a premier physical front court piece, OKC enters next season as the undisputed championship favorites yet again. The model is there. Now they just have to execute it. And I think there's a lot of names that they can look at just to kind of run that five. I mean, Isaiah Hartenstein is good. I think he's a good role player, but I don't think he's going to be a starter for you at that five position. I mean, I could see them, I don't know. I don't know. I have to see about who is available as far as trades would go, who would fit that system, who also would be a free agent, maybe possibly save them some money. You never know. But hey, enough about the offseason. We still got some time before that comes, because tomorrow night, the main event begins. Game 1 of the NBA Finals, the New York Knicks against the San Antonio Spurs. This is going to be an absolute dream matchup for basketball purists, and it comes down to a battle of contrasting geometry. Mike Brown's Knicks have been resting on the couch after sweeping Cleveland. They are physical, they are deep, and they play a grueling defensive gap scheme. But the number one question on the whiteboard tomorrow night, how does New York handle Wembanyama's vertical gravity? When the Knicks swept the Cavs, they did it by putting Karl Anthony Towns on the perimeter to pull Cleveland's bigs out of the paint. You cannot do that to San Antonio. Wemby's recovery radius is an absolute anomaly. Even if Cat spaces the floor, Victor can contest the jumper and still recover to protect the rim against Jalen Brunson's drives. It's going to be interesting to see how Mike Brown handles this. So tomorrow night, look for the Knicks to throw an absolute defensive blitzkrieg at the Spurs' young backcourt. The Knicks are going to pressure Dylan Harper and the Spurs ball handlers the full length of the floor, trying to disrupt their entry passes to Victor. If New York can turn the game into a rock fight, limit the Spurs' transition points, and let Jalen Brunson orchestrate out of the mid-post, they can take control of Game 1. But if San Antonio handles the pressure and lets Wemby anchor the half-court defense, the Knicks are going to be in for a long, long night. The stage is set. Game 1 tips off tomorrow night in San Antonio. We are guaranteed an all-time classic. I would love to hear from you guys about who you see winning Game 1 tomorrow. Drop a comment if you're listening to this on Spotify. I'm going to put this up on YouTube. I'm going to also put this up on our Instagram page as well. Drop a comment. What's your honest assessment of Chet Holmgren's Game 7 performance? Do you think OKC needs to move on from Holmgren? Do you think they can still build around Holmgren, SGA, and Jalen Williams? And provide me some score predictions. I think the Spurs win tomorrow. I think the spread right now is 4.5 in favor of San Antonio because it is a home game for the Spurs. I think that crowd's going to be insane. I think I'm going to go Game 1, Spurs cover the 4.5. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. It's going to be an all-time classic NBA Finals. I would really love to see this go to 6 or 7. I would love to see it go to 7 back in San Antonio. But hey, let me know your thoughts. But also make sure to check out our brand new TikTok page. I'm going to be dropping some quick video clips mapping out just some highlights from the games and just some pre-game previews and all this other stuff on our TikTok page. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. And I'll see you back in the film room after the final buzzer of Game 1 tomorrow night. So I'll probably be back on Thursday. You guys enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'll talk to you soon.